Thought podcast. We are back. This is another quarantine episode. I have a special guest with. We got a special guest with us today. We got the Queen Vaneesha.
Woo!
Hello.
Vaneesha.
What's going on, Queen?
Hey.
Nothing much,
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm hanging in there, just trying to, make a little bread. That's all.
First, I got my co-host with me. Starting off, I got the Queens, Sade the baby.
Sadie the baby! And y'all know who the fuck I am. I ain't got to keep telling y'all my name on this motherfucker, man. Let's get it going.
What's going on, man?
That's true, y'all.
How's everybody pick? We gonna start with Sade. Are you barbecue?
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna be stepping in and out a couple times. I'm jerking some chicken and got some ribs on the grill right now. So.
Would you mind if me and Troy come over there and pull up for a plate?
Maybe.
Cause we gonna be in the area.
I gonna be in the area.
I gotta pick Troy up. Troy,
you gotta pick me up and take me shopping because my car in the shop.
You say he got to pick you up and take you shopping because your card is in the shop?
My car.
Oh,
my truck.
Your card.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So you ain't gonna fix me none?
I don't know.
Well, I appreciate, man. We on this lovely Sunday morning. I appreciate Afternoon.
Oh, she got on this bitch and corrected you, boy.
I'm sorry.
Goof ass boy.
I am sorry.
Lame ass nigga. No, just playing.
Yeah, wow. Need to stop that loud. Hey, but yeah.
Fuck you. I don't smoke.
Now we got the Queen, man. I definitely wanted to get her to come in, and because Vaneesha, correct me if I'm wrong, Vaneesha, but you are on the front lines, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, what are you, a nurse or?
I'm a microbiologist, so I work in the lab. So I'm doing the second part. After the nurses and the doctors take samples from the patients and they send it to the lab, and then I run a test to determine what's wrong with the patient and give them susceptibilities in order for them to treat the patient correctly.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
So you see this shit firsthand. We appreciate your service. That's love.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow, this shit just got real, Keith.
Just between me and you, you had him at microbiologist. After anything you said after that was just above and beyond for him. Anything after that was just.
It went above his head. It's cool.
It went right above my head. But you know what though? I'm glad that you there to have my back and make sure that I'm getting the correct information. You're such a great girl. I love it.
So tell us how you got started on that journey.
Okay, so after completing my bachelor's at Dillon University, I came home and I was working as an optician, so working with the eyes, and I wanted to get in the lab, being that a lab was a part of my requirement for my degree. So I was applying to labs, but a lot of people wasn't taking me because I had experience. So I finally ended up getting a job at Rosalie Hospital. Good Lord. But I worked there for about 7 months, and one of the directors that worked there, she left and she went to University of Illinois. And when she left, she pulled me over, and they actually had a bigger department. So I was able to kind of like test the waters, working in pathology, working in hematology, chemistry, and in micro. And I kind of just filled my way out, and I end up just kind of falling into the micro department. And I've been there close to a year. So I've been at University of Illinois for 2 years, but I've been in micro for a year. So it's just kind of, moving my way around, kind of touching the right hands. And every time I kind of touch people, they kind of pull me wherever they're going based off of my experience. And then I just kind of elevate and continually move forward.
That's cool. Self-aware woman. I like that.
Thank you.
Now you talked about you just spoke on something real quick. You said your time in Rose, and you said, "Ooh, what was?"
Yeah, Rosalind, motherfucker. The name say it for itself. Rosalind.
Yeah, exactly.
They need lotion like a motherfucker out there, boy.
No, see, Roseland, I'm not gonna say it's like a bad hospital. It's just impoverished. They don't have a lot of resources. So when you don't have a lot of resources, you can't treat your people correctly. And then when you have management that doesn't care about the employees and nor do they care about the patients that come through the doors, then you have a lack. So therefore, it's like we're already struggling, and then it's like you got to learn how to work with the bare minimums. And you have people that come in and they don't have anything, they don't have insurance. I've seen people who are homeless with their kids sitting in the waiting room because they can't go anywhere. So when you come from an environment you don't have anything, and then this is supposed to be like a safety net hospital, because the next hospital is Strojan, that's all the way on Stony Island. Then the next hospital over is Little Company Mary. So this is a safety net for this area. And if you don't have people putting money into the hospital in order to take care of the people in the neighborhood, they're gonna lack in every aspect. So they lacked in the hospital. So that's pretty much what it did was it helped me learn how to work with the bare minimum, because now when I go somewhere I can use bare minimum and get my job done. But at the same time, it shows you how underappreciated that environment is, where you will literally have to leave your neighborhood just to get something because people don't want to pour into what you have.
That's what's up. That's I respect. Yeah, and that's true like a motherfucker. But why won't they put any money into the hospital? I mean, from your time being there, what
Oh well,
what
of
was it
course
like?
the neighborhood. It's
Right?
how was it? How was it like? It's an experience. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
just say. It's an experience, because I don't want to say it's bad, because it's not. You actually have people who truly care, but when you have people who are not paid for their time, you have people who will be like, okay, well, I'm not getting paid, so I'm not going to do that. So you don't have people going the extra mile for their patients. And then from my understanding, you have a lot of upper management that's getting overly paid. So they can't pay their
Right.
employees correctly in order for their employees to assist their patients.
Right.
So they're lacked in everything. And it's like every time we turn around, the hospital is about to close, but then they find the money in order to put into the hospital, but the funds are not being distributed correctly. So
Right.
therefore,
Right.
it's continually a lack in every aspect,
Mm.
because people are not taking the
It's
the
yeah.
steps to make sure that everything is taken care of. So
Mm.
that's just how I learned about it. And then you have people who've been there for years. So you have a lot of people who've been there for years, and they're stuck in old Roseland ways. They don't want to progress and try to update the hospital and bring in new people in order to turn around the hospital. So it's just like, it's pretty much a ball of everything when it comes there. All I just say is it's just a lack everywhere, from management to employees, and they can't service the people. So that's pretty much what that is about.
Mm.
How can you speak on now, as far as you talked about lack of resources just with Roseland itself? What about now, since we're in this pandemic and you see a lot of hospitals around the nation have lack of resources, lack of ventilators, just a lack of a lot of things to not, assist these patients during this time.
It seems like we're not prepared.
I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, that's one of the biggest things where we wasn't prepared. And you being in you being in the front, I think I read this morning it was like 2,000 deaths we didn't get right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody know, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that's what it said on the news. About 2,000 deaths now. Just seeing that and being, like I said, in the front lines. Could you speak on what it is now as far as lack of resources and ventilators, things of that nature? Like,
Okay, so I can't speak on the ventilator portion because I'm not directly in the hospital. I can only speak on the testing kit portion because I'm in the lab.
okay,
But the lack of resources is just, it's crazy to me, but that shows you that our government wasn't prepared, and as far as making sure the healthcare portion was secure, because you just never know. We live in a time where everything just pops up out of the wind, and when you don't have anybody investing to our healthcare system, our education system, everything will fall apart. So now you have, whereas they tell people, okay, if you're feeling sick, call the urgent care. But because we have a lack of resources,
Right.
you can't just walk into the hospital. They're going to tell you to call your physician. They're going to tell you to call the local urgent care. And based off your symptoms, they're going to tell you either you should stay home and self-quarantine or you should go to the hospital. And so now it's like you're putting people at risk because, like, if you're telling them to stay at home, well, how many people live in their house that they're, probably exposed? Then if they come to the hospital, then, well, we don't have ventilators or we're short on rooms, where are we going to put you? My hospital, they literally have a tent on the side of the ER because they're not letting COVID patients walk into the ER because you still have to assess regular people who have emergencies. So then that's when it comes into the conflict because now you have everybody who's sick from COVID, and you have other people who have just daily issues, and it's like you're cross contaminating these people because you got people coming to the ER, or I'm sick, I don't know what to do. So you have nowhere to place these people. Like at my hospital, they moved the entire pediatric ward to Northwestern in order to assess that ward to put COVID patients there because it's like, well, we can't keep the kids here. They sent them to Lori, not Northwestern. So it's just it's kind of all over the place because you don't know where to put these people. And then in our department, we have testing kits. Now, these testing kits that they're using on COVID patients, these testing kits were for respiratory. So if you come in and say, oh, I have a flu, they're going to swab you and they're going to send it to the lab. Well, now it's the lack of these testing kits because now it's a back order everywhere. So what are we going to use to test these patients? So now they're coming out the woodwork with a whole bunch of different things that you have to test on machines. And how long is this going to test? How long can we put this on a machine? And this comes back and it says this test has passed for us to use this resource to swab these patients. So now it's like they're pulling everything that they possibly can in order to assess people. So it's pretty much kind of all over the place. Like every day when I get to work, it's a different protocol for something.
Right.
So it's just like you got to roll with the flow. So it just becomes kind of overwhelming. But once you kind of just roll with it and just know, okay, today when I go in, something might be different, then you're able to assess the day better. But it's just, I'm not understanding why it is a lack of resources because it did come out of nowhere. But COVID was talked about back in October and November from China. So that also puts a light on our government because if they're saying if we get most of our resources, we get ventilators and we get masks from China, why wasn't this something that deemed in your head like, okay, well, let's try to make sure that our people don't get affected? Or how can we contain it in some way, form, and fashion? Because we had a very busy flu season. Like the flu season was off the chain more than I've ever seen it before. So it's like necessarily a lot of people were probably sick back in January, February, and December.
Mm-hmm.
But because the government didn't take COVID serious, they just deemed it as, oh, you have the flu. They didn't deem it as, oh, you might have COVID because it's been around. Like coronavirus has been around. It's just this particular strand that's new.
Right.
So that's just the biggest thing. I put it on the government as well, not really paying attention to what was going on and having a leader who doesn't care about anything. So now we're in a situation where we're in the springtime and everybody wants to go outside, but we can't because we're in quarantine. But if they would have quarantined us in January and February when it was cold as fuck, we would have been able to be okay by now. Everybody would have been outside because they're trying to plateau it out in order for it to decrease. So that's our biggest issue currently.
So how long do you think this COVID-19 gonna last? I mean, I know you're not.
I want the shit to end by May 30th so I can go outside. That's what I wanted to do.
May 30th? That was around your birthday time or something?
No, my birthday in July, and I got a vacation that's paid for, and I want this shit to end by May 30th so I can go outside.
Might as well go cancel that motherfucker. You seen everybody outside yesterday?
I know I was one of the people that was outside.
That's fucked up. How you gonna give us this long ass resources?
One,
ventilator,
I had on the mask,
all
and
the
two,
government
I was
don't
still
care,
social distancing.
and the Trump don't care, and you don't get no fuck.
I do care. I was riding the bike and I had on a mask. I was not by everybody. I was not with a group of people.
I'm just
I was
playing.
outside.
I gotta get you.
I'm just talking about all those people that was outside partying. What was that, out west or out south side?
You had also yesterday. I went bike riding and I rode 5 miles. I'm so proud of myself. But I went bike riding, and it was people everywhere. I don't care, like people on 87. There's people on the west side. There's people on the north side. It's 77 degrees outside. We ain't seen 77 since last year.
Mm-hmm.
You think people was not about to go outside and enjoy 77-degree weather? Like, you just couldn't tell people not to go outside. Like, somebody was gonna find something to do, and that's what the hell they did. Now, I do not approve of like everybody at 87. It's like, come on now, the car. Somebody was outside riding on a damn horse. I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, I seen people when I was downtown. They had picnics. Everybody was out there with their dogs. I was just like, y'all really don't get no fuck. But they won't display like all the people, all the white people on the north side not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We just literally show, okay, black people on the south side on 87. Now, they didn't need to have a car show. Now, they did it. Like they said, if you're going to do something, it has to be less than 10 people. It was 100 people outside. Now, if none of these 100 people get sick, I'm going outside. But still, that does not make sense to me. Like, I don't think people are taken into consideration because a lot of people, it hasn't hit home. So they haven't been affected, whereas they know somebody who does have COVID. They don't have any family members that are sick. So for them, they just they know it's here, but they're not taking it serious because it's not hit them. And I feel like people only let things affect them when it affects their surroundings. Like when, oh, your mama got it, your cousin, then you might be like, all right, I'm gonna sit in the house. Or if you know somebody, yeah, like, or if you know somebody that's sick, you might be like, okay, I might just chill out because I do want to go see my family member or my cousin. So I can't go outside until later on. So I'm gonna just relax. But a lot of people, they don't give a damn because it's not hitting them. So they don't care. It's like, no, monkey see, monkey do. If I don't know it's coming in my direction, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do.
Because it was way, way, way too many people outside yesterday. Way too many people. I'm looking like, it just, you know how you can just feel everybody's outside? Like, you just wake up, like, it feel like people is outside. And Laura be told, I drove to the store. I'm like, it's traffic to get to the corner. Like, it was way too many people. Like, you just get, like, today doesn't feel like that. Yesterday felt like everybody is outside doing
it was cracking.
Right now.
It was cracking.
I was in the car like, damn, okay. I see how I see people with their tops down.
Chicago in 98 or something. It was just
I was like, okay. I've seen people with their drop tops down. They had on a mask. I was like, nigga, you defeating the purpose. Like, please stay home if you're gonna do that. There'll be no food. I don't know. I'm gonna pray for our people because they just really don't understand. I'm like, I didn't even know car clubs still exist.
Me
but
neither.
Obviously they do. So I was like,
me neither.
I see this shit since high school.
I'm gonna start one. I got a Fiat. I'm gonna start one.
That motherfucker gonna be cracking. You gonna be like, damn, I ain't know this many people have Fiat.
I'm gonna be like, hey,
friends. Everybody was turned out. I was like, okay. Yeah. I seen people on motorcycles. I was like, oh, like if y'all just would sacrifice one good day for us to have multiple good days, it would just make sense. But nope.
I think this is going to lead to a narrative to where is that Chicago's going to be one of those cities that's on the last of the list to finally release the quarantine because we keep having all these hiccups. So if they're seeing other places like roll out, and if something happens there, we're definitely getting shut back down.
And Lori better not play with me. She better open this shit back up.
Somebody called Lori her bald headed ass yesterday going to have.
I see her. I was like, Lori, I just need you to open up Home Goods and Marshalls. I can do okay with everything else. Just open these two places so I can feel like I'm back to myself because this shit is. I can't keep going to Target. It's too expensive. I need to go somewhere.
I keep going to Family Dollar.
I ain't stepped in Walmart. I don't think I stepped in Walmart.
I'm scared of Walmart.
I go to Target.
But I've talked about this. Like we talked about this a couple episodes ago. I feel like it's inevitable now, right? Where it's like wherever you go, you're bound to you're bound to already have it or you're gonna get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they said, you know, it's what there's people that work from. I mean, they go to the grocery stores. I mean, essential workers. You come home to your kids or you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just at this point, it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I feel, and I understand. People want, we want to take definitely the safety precautions of 6 feet and washing your hands, and that's everything is still important. I just feel like at this point, it's like, I mean, like you said, everybody's still kicking it. Motherfuckers not gonna listen. This shit ain't gonna never be over.
Well, there is a such thing as herd immunity. Which is eventually there are people in the population who probably won't contract it. They won't get it. It's like there's people who just don't get the flu. They don't get flu shots. They just have a natural somehow immunity to a lot of different strands of whatever it is. So there are people who naturally in the population won't get it. That's kind of based off people who are getting sick who die off. So eventually, the only people who are left can't transmit it to other people because they're immune to it. The problem is that with it being so many people and people this being 2020 and transportation and it's easy to get here, get there, it's going to take a longer time to get that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they were trying to kind of come up with a vaccine to kind of help make that happen more quicker because the virus is transmitting so fast because there are people who are so susceptible to it that's spreading it more.
Mm-hmm.
And so with herd immunity, usually like there are a lot of times where like the flu peaks off, disease, like they have a moment where there's a lot of people have it, then just kind of plateaus, falls off. But with this, the issue is that when they had us quarantining, they were trying to keep it down so low so that eventually it'll probably die out. But it doesn't help when there are so many people who are asymptomatic and are just spreading it. So it's kind of hard where we really are fucking our own selves up when we're cuddling together, huddling in such large masses of people.
Yeah.
And people be partying but don't have a mask on. Like, that's another thing I don't get. You outside and it's here. Like, did you see the lady that cut the hole down the middle because she said it was too hard to breathe with a mask? Like, you have people who don't make rational decisions. They don't. So you have stupidity. And then you have herd immunity, and it's like they're just clashing.
I seen somebody. I was going to the grocery store. I seen a motherfucker smoking a cigarette with gloves on. I said,
I see people with gloves on when they drive and mask. I'm like, motherfucker, you're not gonna contract the virus in the car. Take the shit off. You contaminating your vehicle by literally whatever you was touching outside. You bringing it into your car because you got the motherfucking gloves on. That's the stupidest shit I say. I'm like, y'all don't listen. But one thing I don't like about it is you do have a lot of asymptomatic people, but they will not test asymptomatic people. If you're like, oh, I don't have any symptoms. Okay, well, they'll be ignorant and say, oh, well, maybe you don't have the coronavirus, or maybe you do. Just stay at home for 14 days. And that's all they can do because it is the shortest. So they have to like really use the proper tools for the people who actually are showing symptoms to determine whether or not they really are sick in order for them to assess them correctly. But I'm like, if a lot of people knew whether or not they have the virus, I think more people would sit down. But because a lot of people are like, well, I don't seem sick, I haven't coughed, I don't have a headache, I don't have any of these symptoms, I must be fine. I'm going to take my ass outside, and they're going to get people sick. So it's pretty much like a catch-22. You can't really do anything about it because the government is not taking the precautions that we're just going to test everybody. They're just kind of doing it off the whim. So that's why we're in this situation now. They're rolling with the punches just like we are. They don't know what to do.
Vaneesha, I want to ask you a question. With you being in microbiology, do you think...
Hold on, my dog's dancing. Y'all done?
Too.
I'm about to put them in a room. Hold on. Come on, you going in the room. Come on, Buttercup. Let's go.
Buttercup sound a little fierce.
No, that's Louie. Louie sound fierce. Buttercup don't know how to plant. Get your butt in the room. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You want to talk a lot.
Yeah, I talk to. That's my kids. You know, I don't think I'm gonna reproduce. So at this moment, I got a dog. Now, what were you saying?
My question to you was, with you being like a microbiologist, do you think it would be possible if they could just maybe produce a test where maybe it's like real easy and cheap to mass produce, like maybe a saliva test that you lick a sticker and it's red if you got it, green if you don't? Like I don't know. Like,
I really don't know. At this moment, what they have done is they do point of care testing, but they only do it for the patients that are inside the hospital. So, like before they go to surgery or anything, they'll like swab these patients to see if they'll rule them out for COVID. And this is a 15-minute test, but the test is not as sensitive as the PCR machine that they actually run the COVID test on. So you can get a false negative.
mm-hmm.
So it could say like, oh, this patient doesn't have COVID, but they still might be resembling all of the symptoms. So it's pretty much no way to kind of assess it when people are kind of when there's nothing to really give a patient. So I don't know what they're going to do as far as like, okay, well, we're just going to give these people something. Like they had something on TV where somebody was selling at-home COVID kits. I was like, I've never heard of that. Like, why would you be selling kits at home when who's to say these things are 100% legit? So you have people spending $120 to say, oh, whether or not they have the coronavirus, and I don't even think it's FDA approved.
Right.
So you got people out here scamming people. So it's just a lot of different ways that they can come up with something, but who's to say how much they're going to market it for? And then you might get a bootleg version of it. So people it's just kind of no clue to kind of gauge it.
What do you like? Speaking on the second wave, that I've heard that it's going to be even more like detrimental than the first one that we're dealing with right now. Have you heard anything of the second wave doing the next flu season?
They haven't really talked about the second wave. Not at my job. I've heard about the second wave potentially happening because they say that the COVID virus really spreads in a cold season. Like it'll die out in the summertime because it's hot. So anywhere that's usually like warmer, they had less people that were sick. So they're like, oh, by the fall, well, like it's going to peak again. But I'm like, I don't need it to peak again by the fall. I need to just not come back. Or if you do have people that get sick, it needs to be a smaller amount of people in order for them to contain it correctly. So I think they're just going based off the charts and the numbers they have at this moment. And that's why they're gauging it that way, to saying that we're going to have a second peak. And I feel like they're saying that it's because they really are trying to open back up in the summertime. So it's like if you have all these people back in their natural environment by the summertime, and once it starts to get cool again and everybody's doing what they were doing before we went into quarantine, then it's a potential for another spike. So I really don't know. I just pray it's not.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not too, man, because I'm kind of done with this shit. Like I'm getting captive with my son. We running out of shit to do. It's just
I still gotta go to work, so shit. It ain't at this point. I just want to go to the store. I don't give a damn about shit else. I just want to go to the store and get my feet done. Everything else to stay closed.
I feel you. Say you want Marshalls to open up though, right?
Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods.
Yeah, I thought they only had like a TJ Maxx and a Marshall. I thought they only had like two of them motherfuckers left in the world.
What?
Don't nobody shop at TJ Maxx or Marshalls?
Boy, I shop at Marshalls. That's all I do. Shop at Marshalls.
If you want some good home stuff, you better go on Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods.
Troy gets all his stuff from the big and tall store. Don't even worry about it.
I'm like,
yeah, absolutely. I get everything from the big and tall store, and even my latex condoms.
Yo, the big and tall store, City Trends.
Yeah.
And
they still got City Trends. I thought they closed that down.
Tops and bottoms.
Yeah. Tops and bottoms.
Villa.
And Magnum X XXL.
Boy, okay, that's too much information. I need to know all that.
That's the actual store.
I shop at Marshalls. I don't give a what. I shop at. I love Marshalls.
Oh shit!
I know.
Oh,
I just bought I bought an $80 blanket out of Target. I'm pissed. I could have got it for $60 out of Marshall.
shit, what's the
What is a
difference?
weighted blanket?
No, it was a regular blanket. My dog tore my other blanket up, so I had to go buy another one. But it was worth $80. I'm not even gonna lie, because I spent $60 on the sheets, and then I bought $80. I spent $80 on a blanket, and I bought 4 new pillows.
That
$60 on
girl
some
feeling
sheets.
sleeping wonderful.
Yes,
Hell
There's
yeah!
other places to buy sheets outside of Walmart, Troy.
I
You
buy
can use
my
a
sheets from
Groupon.
Target. Actually, I need them washed if you want to collect all my items for me.
You could have went on Groupon, V.
That's nasty.
I want to go on Groupon because I want to buy some silk sheets for get a silk set for my pillows. So when I don't want to wrap my hair stays intact. Like that's the only reason I
Cause
kind of
you
I don't want the
sliding down that
sheets.
motherfucking silk like that.
No, I need some
And then
silk
you wake
pillows
up
for
and you
my
do
hair.
this shit and your shit just bouncing and shit, you know?
I need it. I
Shit
need
going
so
on.
when I come out of quarantine, I get my hair done. If I'm be partying, if I fall asleep, I want to wake up and shake my hair
Oh
and go
yeah.
about my business.
So where does a microbiologist party?
Boy, use your vowel.
You use everything.
I'm just fucking around. I gotta look. Y'all making me. I'm so sick and tired of the coronavirus. I understand we need to be aware when we're talking about these things, but I think to think positive and to not worry as much is good. Somebody at my job did catch it actually, and so it's something to be aware about. But it does like fucking put me to sleep every time we talk about it because I'm just tired of being scared. To be honest with you. And I'm just trying to liven up the moment a little bit. So if I say some inappropriate things and say some shit that makes you think that I'm a little crazy, please know that I am crazy, but I just be playing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
It's okay. It's
yeah,
all right. I always say at this moment, I tell people don't live in fear. Just be aware. Like once you are completely aware of what's going on around you and the information that's being put out, then you're able to assess things better when you are aware. Because living in fear is not going to help. Because
that's
you
what I'm
have
saying.
people who are living in fear, but they are so unaware that they might be adding to the problem. Whereas,
Right.
like, okay, I know what's going on. I'm aware of what's going on. I'm reading and I'm actually paying attention and I'm taking it serious. So I'm just going to do what I got to do, but I'm not going to be afraid for my life. If I just got to stay at home, I'm going to just stay at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I feel like we just at a time we really living in a time of uncertainty, and a lot of people are having questions about this. I mean, we spoke on it, but I think
But it's good to talk about it on our podcast.
yeah,
It's
no,
really
I know like I said, I know V and I know her background. I feel like it was good to bring her on, especially something someone that's in the field.
yeah, and I actually just learned a lot from her just talking to her. You know what I mean? It's good to be aware. It really is. But like I say, I'm just more so like we got to fight it together as a nation, and let's just fight it. Everybody ain't gonna listen. Everybody not gonna do what the necessary things they need to do. But for the most part, I can say this, and I work in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You still got these thug ass niggas out here with masks and gloves on. You know what I'm saying? And so people are listening, people are aware, but I just think people just doing a bunch of dumb shit when it gets a little hot outside. So, but it is good to be aware. It is good to talk about it, especially on a platform where we can reach out to people and people that listen to. Because there's some things that I did know that I just found out. You know what I'm saying? And people may think the same thing. So I'm not trying to say, oh, let's stop talking about Corona. I'm just saying that, I got to liven it up a little bit because this shit really makes me sad for all the people that's really being affected by this shit, man. It's really getting crazy.
Yeah, nah, for real. It's definitely people that's out there being affected, and and we don't want to negate the fact that just because some of our people, and like you said, somebody, but I don't know anyone.
I do. I know somebody.
Yeah, we don't want to dismiss the
I
fact.
just had a cousin who died 2 weeks ago from the coronavirus. She was 44, and we had her funeral on Monday. So
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I
So
could.
necessarily, I know that it's, alive and well, but at the same time, and being that Black people, we have the highest percentage of people that are affected from the coronavirus, and we have the highest death rate. I look at it like it goes beyond us just hanging around each other. It goes beyond, like, how we were redlined back in the day necessarily. So when you are in these environments like Roseland, they are in impoverished neighborhoods. So it's not like you can drive down the street and you're going to go to Whole Foods so you can get fresh fruit. So you have people who automatically, depending on where they come from, who have underlying health conditions because they're not in the environment that assesses to their health. So of course, that's more Black people because more Black people have diabetes, have high cholesterol, are overweight, and things of that nature. We're more susceptible to this disease because we already come with so much already.
Yeah.
So while that, of course, that's why we will have the higher rate because we don't have the resources in order for us to be assessed correctly as far as health-wise.
No, that's true. Health is wealth, man, and I know that's something that I know just me in particular. I preach and try to motivate people to get the workout and I know it's not easy. A lot of people, but I don't want us as a community to fall back and say, okay, well, since I can't, I don't want to. If I don't want to go to hold on, I was going to say something. I'm all over the place.
Lost your train of thought?
Lost my train of thought. But like I said, I put up I put up videos to try to motivate people to work out. And I feel like prior to this pandemic, I feel like that's something that a lot of people, like I said, us as community, we just really need to come together and do because we are suffering from, like you said, those pre-existing conditions where now we really seeing how fucked up it is now that this strand is deadly to us as African Americans. So
and I will say this though, Keith, to piggyback on what you're saying, like I've been overweight for a little bit now. I used to be in tip top shape, and I used to live in the gym. And I will say this, like it has brought some awareness to me because I really ain't give a fuck about working out no more because I just always felt like, man, that comes natural to me when the time comes. It comes, but I realize that I ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
And I really need to get to the gym, and I really need to start taking care of myself a little bit better. And stop smoking. That's one thing I need to really stop doing. But I actually have to get in that gym and actually start working out and getting my body back to the way it used to be because this shit is really out here killing and hurting lives and hurting people's lives. And like I say, man, it really made me realize because even if I like walk upstairs and I get a little shortness of breath, you know what I'm saying? And that's just for me being overweight because I'm very overweight. But it's making I get a little paranoid and shit like, damn, it's corona, that's shortness of breath and shit like that.
Yeah.
It always freaks me the fuck out if I get a headache or if I get, a little fever, so it just really making me realize that it's important to be in the gym. Is even when you don't feel like it, you feel like you've been working all fucking day, you got to get in the gym, man. You got to take care of yourself. Health is wealth, like the young lady said. And we got to do what we got to do.
Before we get into the segments, before we get into Sade's segment, I want to ask y'all, so when we do get off this shit, what's the first thing y'all going to do?
What, off the pan, say it one more time, I couldn't hear you.
First thing you going to do once we get off quarantine?
I'm going to go to my little brother. I'm going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
You can go there now and take it to go.
But I want to go there with you.
I'm not going.
I want to do I want to hug my little brother. That's the only thing I want to do when the quarantine over with.
Yeah. I'm going to Buffalo Wild Wings with Sade.
I won't be there, but I'll send my love.
Make sure you do.
What I want to do is I just really want to just hang out with my family, just together because we haven't really had a chance to hang out with each other. And normally the time we do hang out with each other is like May, June, July, the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll be able to have that. So that's what I want.
Yeah, I want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I want to get I want to have no, I ain't going to say that.
First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the gym.
Get your big head ass up. You always got to be so right. I'm sick of you being so right. And
but it's crazy because I haven't really had the motivation to work out while we've been quarantined. I work out, but I feel like it's just not the same.
You got to be around all those boys.
Yeah, that gym vibe just different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
when you see other people working out and you just and you get in your vibe, it just pushes you to want to like go a little harder than what you were already doing, or the motivation to do it. Because staying at home, Lord Jesus, I ain't picked up not a rope, a waist. That's it. I've been watching what I've been eating though. That's the only thing I have been doing in quarantine because I'm like, I can't afford to pick up another pound.
Right.
So
I think you look beautiful. Don't worry about pounds.
Yeah, you do.
Black don't crack.
Yeah,
don't
that
worry about
piggyback
it.
off.
You got
yeah, you say you do look good, and somebody gonna shoot your club up because you were just saying you don't want no.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
I have a dog. My dog requires
how young are you?
I'm 27.
Oh shit, you a baby. You got time. Shit, I tell you now. Don't have no babies right now. Cause these people out here be on some nut shit nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even hold you.
Like I always said, I think me and you spoke on it before, V. Like I always said, kids is one thing, but it's who you have them by. And I'm pretty sure you know.
Yes, I know. That's
I know.
I know yet you know that I know that you know.
No, not to say I wouldn't say I don't want to have children. It's more so I really just want to have kids by the right person. Like Absolutely. I have friends who went through so much with the people that they had children by, and then I have family members who have a bunch of kids. So it's like I'm around kids all the time. So it's like that motherly thing I haven't crept into there yet. And I'm just more concerned. Like, and I have to see what a man is about. Like, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your finances, how the hell you gonna try to take care of a baby? So I'm good on that. Kids require a lot. And
hell yeah, I got 3 of them.
Oh, shout out to you.
My shit working good.
Hey, obviously.
Pow, 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 pow. I get a motherfucker pregnant when I look at him. Yeah.
Okay, well, I need to turn the phone off.
He's off.
Hell no. I can't wait to put that on the clipboard. That's gonna be funny as
Absolutely. Hey, we gotta keep it funny, man. This Food for Thought podcast.
Queen, you got your segment?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
So for Sentimental with Sade segment, the question I have for y'all was
Sade!
What is your biggest mistake you've made within the last 5 years?
Oh shit.
Damn, G. Why the fuck you had to go there and shit?
That was deep, yeah.
Damn, bro. She just.
What this segment is about. Like,
God damn, bro. I got 1 million of them. Shit. I shouldn't have fucked that bitch over there on 79th. I got 2 bitches that I shouldn't have wanted to be with her the other day. I got another bitch I paid her to do some shit, but I shouldn't have did that neither.
What's this, 2020? Oh, so it's 2015 to 2015 to now. Shit.
Wow, that's a really fucking awesome question.
Y'all want to go? Because that's deep for me. Y'all,
yeah, I mean, I hit him first.
I don't know.
I hit him first.
Go ahead.
I think that when I was separated, I should allow myself to heal correctly before I got back into a situation where I didn't know where I really didn't know because I loved someone. And now I'm back in that situation because I didn't allow myself to really heal and think about what I was doing. I was just going based on being comfortable with someone and loving someone and not thinking about how peaceful I was when I wasn't with that person at that time. And I think when I got back into that space with that person, it kind of showed me. And now that I'm back out of it, it showed me like, damn, bro, you could have been happy at the time, but you chose to get yourself in a position where you could be unhappy and lose your peace and stress out and do all this extra shit. And because you were scared to be alone or to be without that person, you got back in that situation and it kind of like, I want to say held me back a little bit. Mm. So yeah, that was one of my biggest mistakes.
That's some good self-awareness.
Yeah, it is. That was deep.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just keeping it real. That shit kind of held me back a little, because I look at it now and I'm like, I got my house, I'm cool, I ain't got no drama. It's like I feel like I'm able to do and see things a lot clearly without having a motherfucker almost like just trying to prove to a motherfucker that I'm right when I know I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know I can be just this great man. And if you just allow me to be this great man and stop fucking being on my dick all day and fucking with me all day, you know, it's like, seriously, bro. Like, people will hold you back and don't even know it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This could be a person that you fucking love with all your soul, that you would die for. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, bro, it just really showed me a lot. Like, now that I've been like separated and doing my thing now, I've got a lot accomplished in fucking 2 months than I ever got accomplished in 8 years, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh God. Every time this is why I open up to y'all fuckers, man.
I ain't saying nothing, bro.
This is why I don't open up to y'all fuckers, man. This is why I don't open up. You will never get that out of me again. Especially you, Sade. Never.
Okay. I feel like
come looking for love.
I'm not. What's what you don't get?
I never said nothing that you was. I just said don't come looking for love, but we on the podcast.
You're insinuating.
You always trying to get me to tell my feelings, so they talk about love.
I do,
so
but
I meant, like,
sometimes
don't come
it goes on a bit of a rant.
You was coming looking for love.
Don't have 45 minutes for you to talk about the last bitch you had.
Who told you? Who told it was 40? It was fucking literally 3 minutes. Why we always gotta argue? Why we can't come to an agreement one time every time we get on the phone?
I don't agree with foolishness, goddammit.
That is not a foolish answer. That was me telling you how I felt.
You said overall, not talking about now. You said, why do we always have to do this? Because I don't be agreeing with foolishness.
All right. I'm done.
Yeah. If we piss each other off today, then the podcast is super lit. What do you mean?
Yeah, you always piss me off every time I come on here.
When I don't like how you always talking to these women, these beautiful women on the podcast with your
what women on the beautiful women on the podcast? I ain't saying nothing to nobody.
You tiptoe. You tiptoe. Do you like a little?
What do I tiptoe about? I have not done anything. I have not done anything. Okay. I'm just being me.
Oh, okay.
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 Thank you.
Well,
got it, dude.
I feel like one of my biggest mistakes that I really learned from, and I feel like I'm still struggling with that to this day, is actually giving myself to people that I should not be giving energy to. And I'm really speaking on friendships, to be honest. Like, I have.
So you're a sucker, basically.
So you can do it to Marquis, but I can't do it to you. God damn it.
Well, you do it. You've been fucking with me the whole podcast.
Because you always fucking with him.
I wouldn't say I'm no sucker, Troy. I'm just I'm just. I just, you know how I just had a friend that I felt like was, you know, how you would just you would go to war with, and motherfuckers wouldn't do the same, and you throughout the years you just consistently and just wholeheartedly just keep pushing y'all friendship, keep putting it at the forefront.
Now this is a man.
No, this is not a man.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Keep making it a priority when they're making it an option. So it's just like, if I feel like that situation, and I've actually learned from though, but I really feel like I don't, as a friend, because I really take my friendships as, I feel like they partnerships. I don't really do friendships, to be honest.
So that's why you trying to get closer to me.
Shut the fuck up and let me finish.
Right, at least not interrupt you in silence.
Hey, big dog, when I see you, I'm still in your ass.
What I'm saying is, I feel like that's one of my biggest mistakes. That's one of my biggest mistakes.
Oh shit.
If I could turn back and but like I said, I learned from it, man. We live and we learn. So
how did I ever let you get away?
I would say
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
in like the last 5 years, my biggest mistake is pretty much I feel like waiting to go to graduate school. I put it off so long, so now I'm in a situation where I'm kind of comfortable with my job and my payment, but I still want to pursue a higher degree. So now I'm in a situation where it's like, okay, how much is this going to cost? How much is that going to cost? Like, do I have to scale back my lifestyle? Do I have to change my job schedule? So it's so many things that come into play now. Where is if I would have went right after undergrad, I still had a lot of freedom. Like I wasn't in a real job per se. So it was more flexible for me to do what I wanted to do in order for me to get to where I'm at. But now it's like now I have like a career, so it's kind of hard to just say, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to school." And definitely, what I'm trying to go back to school for is nothing I could just sit down and do online. So I feel like that's just the biggest mistake, just waiting, expecting that I will have all the time in the world, and I don't.
That's true.
Yeah.
What about you, Sadie?
One of my biggest regrets would probably be a moment when I should have stood up for myself a lot stronger than I did. The person that you see in front of you now had to get to this place. I had this thing a lot when I was younger that sometimes I was more worried about other people's feelings, what I would say in contradiction to how they felt would change. So I valued so much more my friendships a lot of times or relationships that I have over myself, which a lot of times didn't allow me to stick up for myself in times where I really probably should have. Because I am that person, but it was moments where I was just, I don't know, maybe I was vulnerable, maybe it'll be a sprinkle of depression, but there were moments where I should have stood up for myself.
I thought you were about to say sucker.
No.
No, I'm just saying.
No. But just learning that and then learning how to, I worked on how to articulate how I felt. And then I started learning how to realize what other people were saying to me and then taking responsibility for how I feel, how that may trigger me, what I'm feeling about. Is there something else bothering me? And kind of more so having just a better strength on my emotional maturity back then. I wish I had it back then because what it did was put me in some situations where I lost a lot of belongings like cars or apartments or people. And being in that thing taught me a lot. So it was like I was at a really low point, but it brought me to where I am now. So I mean, I understand what you have to go through sometimes, but I really, really wish that I had that ability to really speak up for myself back then, and especially in 2015.
Nice. Well, my segment is based on love, and
you want to introduce your segment?
That's what I'm doing. Basically, I just want to ask you guys: have you guys ever, or do you regret not telling somebody how you feel based on your pride, ego, or just really trying to pretend like you just don't want something out of a person or you don't want a person? Have you ever let someone get away from you like that?
Hell no, because none of them niggas is worth keeping. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was out. Next question.
Hey, bro, she came out the gate like fuck niggas. Like, damn. You ain't met one guy that you let
okay.
You ain't met one decent guy that you let get away because of your pride or because you feel the way you feel now. Like, oh, these niggas.
I wouldn't say so I would never say I let anybody get away because they still come back regardless of what I throw at them.
Okay.
But necessarily, I've
that.
had to learn how to like truly express. I've noticed that I'm learning to become self-aware. I have a pride problem. I'm one of those people.
That's what I'm
text
saying.
you and you don't text me back, nigga, you're not gonna hear from me because
Only
obviously I text you. I made the first move. I'm not a double texter. I'm not a double caller. That shit should pop up on your phone. That's a pride issue on my thing.
Are you a Cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
How did you know?
I have a friend of mine who I'm very close with, and her name's Nicole. She's a Cancer, and it's the way you were speaking about it. It just sounds a lot like the energy I get from her when we have a conversation. So I can spot a Cancer. I can spot them.
Yes. I'm gonna put you up if you bark. but I've learned.
Treating the men, I'm gonna put you up if you bark.
But I've learned to kind of come out of that because I realize it only hurts myself when I hold on to things or I'm letting my pride dictate how I move, because it's like a very it's like a great feeling when I can express how I feel and just say it. So therefore, like, regardless of how you might feel or what you might say back, it's to release the energy to really express how I feel. Now, I can say in a situation with a guy I have dated, I held on to a lot of things that I felt like if I would have said, it would have made our relationship a lot better. But because I hold on to a lot and I'm very prideful and I don't like to show my vulnerable side, it made for bumps that shouldn't have been there if I would have just opened up. So I can say that, but the nigga's still around. So obviously he ain't give a damn whether or not I put him through hell. He still willing to talk to me.
Yeah,
So,
we live and we learn. You know, sometimes we double back.
What about you, Marquis? If you ever let a good one get away based on your pride or your ego?
We're going to let the ladies go first.
Okay. Hey, it's me. Hey, I let a good one go. I mean, it's kind of hard to answer it when you find yourself in situations, especially when you were younger, with men who probably just weren't ready. So I can't say I let a good one go because I don't know if he was going to be good or if he is good or where he's at now. So I can't really account for those. But as far as I could say, there has been a situation where somebody probably was open and vulnerable to me, and I sometimes can have tunnel vision. I'm focused on what I'm focused on, and if you're not a part of that vision, then you won't get focused on. And he probably had some feelings, something that I did not acknowledge because that's not what I wanted. And for the most part, maybe he has some bitter ill feelings to me. And I don't want him to feel like that. I don't want you to feel like you just got used or you just wasn't I don't want you to feel like that, but he is a good guy, but can't say I let it get away because I didn't really want it. That's what I got. That's what I got. I don't know.
Okay.
Like she said, these niggas not shit.
How did I say niggas not shit? Y'all okay? In some aspect.
We are tremendous. We are very good.
This motherfucker said we are tremendous and we are very good.
We are very good.
Watch out.
We are very. I spoke on this before though. I won't say my pride or ego. Well, I could say my egos anyway, but I think this goes off what Sade was just. I just wasn't ready, so I can't even really say that it was a ego or pride thing. Like I said before on this podcast, numerous times I have misled women. I done did a lot, as y'all know. I done did a lot of fucked up shit. I did a lot of fucked up shit, man. You know, selling iPads and just to name a few. I did a lot of crazy stuff, man, and I'm not proud of it. But that made me who I am today. And like I said, I'm still learning. I'm not nowhere near close of being the man that I want to be, but you know, I still have my mishaps, you know. So, yeah, I can't really say that it was an ego or pride thing. I think I just let a lot of women go because I was juvenile. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was just,
yeah.
I was just a fuck boy back in the day. Like, you know, I did a lot of goofy shit. So that's just who I was back then. But I mean, it happens, you know. Now, if I, you know, if you know what's crazy that I think I said that before on the podcast before. Like I text, like not text, but I had like it was like 3 or 4 exes I had sent like reached out to, like, man, I see. I wasn't shit back then, and I'm sorry for how I did you. Like I was fucked up. I don't know why. That was some years ago though, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cute, man.
Yeah, I was an asshole back then, but I'm still am now though. So don't But
I thought you was the nice guy.
I am a nice guy.
Okay.
I still am. I was always a nice guy, but I was, back then I was manipulative.
Sorry.
I was a manipulator back then. I couldn't even use. I was though. I was fucked up. So. I was, so that's just who I was.
The reason why I asked that question is because there's a lot of people in the world that let their true feelings for someone kind of get away from them, and kind of let people get away from them because they don't know how to tell people how they feel. And I think that sometimes, even though you might have an ego problem, or you might have this thing to where, no, he can't have me and all this other shit. If you tell people how you feel, it might blossom into something really good for you and really bring you true happiness. You sitting around and playing mad all day and playing like you don't want somebody. That probably will fuck up your future, and we got to learn how to kill off the ego, and I had to learn that myself. I'm still working on that. One thing I do have is a really big ego problem, because I like to hype myself up because I feel like I need that confidence in this world, because it's always somebody tearing black men down, point blank period. I don't care where you go, who you with, what color they are. It's always someone tearing black men down. So, I let a woman get away, and she was a really nice girl. But I just couldn't really do the whole Philly touchy thing. And I felt like I let her go because my ego wouldn't allow me to get in that space with her. You know what I'm saying? So, and I felt bad about that. And I called her and let her know yesterday, like, yeah, I apologize. Whatever I did to you, I'm sorry about that shit, because you were an actual good woman to me. I just was a fucking dick, and I didn't know how to fucking, I didn't know how to receive that love. You know what I mean? And that's just keeping it real. But to you guys, if you're ever in a position where you really feel some way about somebody, or you feel like you want to tell somebody something and you don't know how, maybe you should just tell them, and you never know. That person might be feeling the same fucking way. But you got to open your mouth. Closed mouth don't get fed. So say how you feel, because I might feel the same way. That's how people should look at it.
Great advice.
Yep, it's a prime example. Hurt people. It's not
I
always.
think people have a fear of rejection, so therefore they hold on to information because they just assume if I express how I feel that you're going to reject me. And it might come from underlying issues when they were kids. You just never know. When people can't really articulate or communicate their feelings, they've probably been in situations where they weren't able to, so they don't. And they take that into the adulthood. So when it comes to dating, they don't express how they feel because of something that probably already happened to them before. So they don't want that to happen again, so they don't say nothing.
I've been rejected before, and it was like, damn, okay. And then tried again a little later, still was rejected. It was like, okay, this is fucked up. Just so I do understand the fear of being rejected, but at the same time, like you said, and like how you just said too, Troy, like sometimes it's better to just get it out there, regardless of how the other person may respond or how they may feel about what you're saying. It's best to kind of get that out there, because it just does yourself justice to now know what you're supposed to do with the emotions that you have.
Mm-hmm. Because people, you don't know, that person might feel the same way that you feel. But if you tell them, then y'all can have a real conversation and maybe take it to another step.
I address a lot of things like that though, and I feel like that goes back to the ego thing too. Just to get back off what B said, like fear of rejection could be an ego thing, but I don't have an ego.
I do.
I mean, I kind of kill. I'm not gonna say I don't have one, but I've definitely my shit has diminished since I've gotten older. Like, cause I know I just can't move successfully out here if I have one. When it comes to business, relationships, friendships, whatever the fuck.
I don't know. I just feel like being black, you need to have ego. You need ego. That's what drives.
No, yeah, like ego is like I said. I don't have a big one to be like to just put myself or my feelings in front of before somebody else's. That's just how I am. I'm not
respect. I respect that.
I've been rejected a lot though.
Yeah, me too. Still being rejected to this day. Yeah, I still being rejected to this day, But like I say, I've been witnessing a specific person that I know personally, and this person gives me a lot of grief, but I can really see it in their eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could really, and I just really want to tell them, like, if you got something to say, just say it.
Yeah.
Call me personally. We can have a conversation. We can talk about it. Right. Instead of just being on some weak bitch ass shit to me. You know what I mean? Because you never know, like, and like I say, I've been knowing this person a little time now, and I've been, I done been through moments where I've seen things and heard things, and actually I found myself caring about, someone hurting her that she was with at the time. You know what I'm saying? And but I see a lot of, what you laughing at, G? What the fuck is you laughing? I'm serious. I've been knowing this girl. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. We talked about it. Nigga. That's why we talked about it. That's why I asked this question. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's smart enough to know who the fuck you talking about too. I'm pretty sure she's smart enough to know who the fuck you talking about. So we just go close it out. Go ahead and close this out.
Go ahead and wrap it up. Just
wait, before you go, V, before you go, man.
All the way over your head. When I see you, bro, and I tell you who I'm talking about, first I'm gonna knock your ass out. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, because you know who I'm talking about, and you know damn well it ain't who the fuck you.
Hey, V, I appreciate you coming on, Queen. I really do, man. This has been I was excited for this one. This is another one that was long overdue. You supposed to came on beforehand, so I finally got you on, and I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Did you enjoy yourself? Did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
Some social interaction.
Yes, this is some good social interaction, and listening to Troy's love problems. Help me get you my Sunday.
Hey, one thing about is me having love problem. I love me, and that's the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying? Me and so many other women. So,
hey, as long as God love you, that's all that matters.
Amen.
That's it. But man, we appreciate you coming through, Queen. Again, we want to thank you first and foremost for being out there on the front lines, man. I know that's definitely tough doing this atrocity right now that we're in. But hopefully, man, we things will clear up, and if we can just say this one thing before we go, if everybody just stay the fuck inside, because I want to go.
I want to
go outside, bro.
Stay in the house. Stay in the house. Okay,
I'm tired of this shit, man. You motherfuckers.
Stay in, we can go out. I feel like we've been on punishment forever.
We keep fucking up.
This that feeling when you come home with bad grades and your mama take all your shit out your room and you look at your FOMO.
First you beat your ass.
Then you looking at the 4 walls in your room like, damn, I really fucked up. Like, I gotta sit
here. She said, damn,
I really fucked up. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I don't know.
They had my baby, y'all. Obviously, he don't know how to act right without his mama.
What's up, Lulu? That's what
this Louie.
Oh, hey, Louie.
This is Louie. I found him outside. He needed a haircut.
Dookie.
Recently?
I found him a month ago. He a rescue dog. He was outside. And I said, come here. And he just ran to my car. I got his shots and everything. He didn't have a chip, so I decided to take him home. Because I was about to spend $1,500 on her dog. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna find one on the street. And that's exactly
Look at God. Look at God.
That's amazing. You know what's crazy? I got so if you can find a dog, that means you let a man come in there and find
I can't hear you. All I heard
you
say, help me.
You done put your finger over.
Right. He done said so because he lying and said some bullshit.
I'm like,
if you can find a dog, you can find somebody like me. I'm a good guy. I heard what the fuck he said.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
now
you.
We can. You did one of these type of, I don't know what the fuck you said.
Yeah, he was focusing.
Yeah, no, man. I said, well, if you find a dog off the street, I said you can find a man and let him get in there too off the street.
Not the same. Not the same.
Hell no.
You know it's not the same.
Y'all need to be y'all need to be neutered first before y'all even walk to my corner. Hell no, I got
neutered first.
Before y'all walk to the corner.
That's fucked up.
Oh man, but like I said, we appreciate you, Quay, for coming out. You want to let everybody know your handles before you get out of here?
Oh, it's my story. I don't want nobody to reach me.
No problem, girl.
That's fine too. That's cool too.
I like my social media to be like to people I know. If I don't know you, I'm not gonna follow you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you was gonna get a few DMs off what you just said.
No, they can follow me. It's Vaneesha Austin on Instagram and on Facebook. I don't use Twitter, so that's the only source of social media activity I have.
Got you, Troy. Go ahead, take us out, brother.
Hey, man, it's the Food for Thought podcast, man. We got a guest on here. Her name's Vaneesha. She know all about everything about coronavirus. We learned a lot from her. We got Sade the baby on here, helping us get in tune with our emotional side. I don't know what the fuck that is. Then we got Keith, the so-called good guy. Then we got so-called bad guy. He don't know who the fuck he want to be. But y'all know who the fuck I am. I'm coming with it straight. I don't give a fuck what you think. It's the Food for Thought podcast. Keep tuning in. We love you. And check us out. We having a part 2 with Potty Mouth. And I'm having part 2 with a 2. Don't worry about a thing. We'll talk about it next.
All right, y'all. I'm not here, y'all.